Hi, I'm Vitaly, and I'm going to be conducting my Snug 202 Assessment 3. Within this assessment, we were required to research and obtain evidence based on a question we had selected from our assessment guidelines. With our question, we were also required to identify the PICO framework within our question. The PICO framework helps us to break down the question, identifying the different parts: population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. Another research method that can help assist in widening your search range is using alternate questions. I had no use for the alternate questions, but they're always good to help widen your range. When beginning your research, it is imperative that you use a viable database. Viable databases can be provided to you through the UOW library guides. The databases that I selected to conduct my research are Scopus and PubMed. Similar to alternate questions, we also have alternative words. These alternative words can be used to accompany our key terms and words in research. For example, our key terms would be childhood trauma and mental health disorder. The use of alternative words such as early life adversity or an adverse child experience may be used to accompany childhood trauma while researching. Similarly to how a psychological condition or emotional disorder could also be used to accompany mental health disorder. While researching, it's also imperative that you use search terms such as "or", as it is an inclusive term and it'll help to use the alternative words in accompaniment to the key term. Using quotation marks allows for the words to be searched in the preferred sequence that you've placed them in. And by placing an asterisk at the end of the word, it helps your research by adding an S onto the end, for example, making it plural. Researching may become a little bit overwhelming once you receive all the viable information and websites in response to your questions. This is where refining is so important in your research. Refining your outcomes can help your research be more specific. Some ways to refine your information to ensure you're getting reliable sources can be to reduce the searching year range. It's always safe to search within 10 years prior. So for example, I searched from 2015 up to forwards of 2025. By searching these key terms on their own, it allows us to view them on their own and view their individual information. Before combining queries, it's really important that we take the time to view the amount of documents found when we search the individual key term, as when we combine the two queries of our key terms together, that is significantly reduced. Other ways of refining our searches are by going into the left side of the search database and usually filtering or refining. So by this, for example, I refined by selecting English only and selecting article as the type of data I wanted to receive. And also in the top right, sorting by relevance rather than by newest. This helped with the amount of documents that were found underneath my question and helped me get what I needed for my assignment. PubMed is another suitable database for researching questions, as it is viable and provides reliable information. As you can see, I'm working similarly as I did on Scopus, just on PubMed. I'm still using search terms and using alternative words to help widen my search. I'm also still using the same searching method, by searching the two key terms separately at first with their alternative words and then combining them together via the query. It's important to search multiple databases as this can help maximize the available data at hand, and it can also assist you in considering all relevant literature. As PubMed and Scopus are similar databases, it's very important to still use refining searches on PubMed as well. So for PubMed, I refined my search by filtering and using the reducing year range. So as I'm in 2025, it is safe to go back 10 years so we make sure we're still getting relevant data and information. So I went back to 2015. I also sorted my information by what was the best match to me and what was most relevant. By also selecting English, I was able to find good sources that I needed for my assignment. With the assistance of my research methods, I was able to find a website with reasonable and reliable data in assistance with my question. Through my structured search, I was able to identify reliable evidence and academic sources to support my structured search and help me find the best available evidence in cohorts with my question. The reliable evidence being able to be identified within my search strategy lets me know that I provided a well-structured search. For this assessment, we were required to search a statement provided by the assessment details on viable databases found in the UOW library guides. I selected Scopus and PubMed to research my question. Within our research, we were required to conduct a structured search strategy. For this to be applicable, I used the same search strategy on both Scopus and PubMed. Also, by applying my knowledge of the PICO framework, I was able to break down the underlying context of the question, which allowed me to recreate the same PICO framework within different questions to assist in my search. At the beginning of this assessment, I began to feel slightly anxious as searching and refining resources can be overwhelming with the amount of search results before refining. After conducting a search strategy, and my anxiety lessened, but with the overflow of documents provided by the databases, it can get easily overwhelming. But with the assistance of refining techniques, it can become less overwhelming. Within the assessment, I had the good experience of obtaining reliable and relevant evidence through my searches within my first search strategies. This allowed me to not have to use other search methods, for example, alternative questions I had produced before conducting my search. The approach of refining and filtering my questions proved to be highly effective. I was able to obtain correct and reliable information pertaining to my question through the use of the PICO format within my question and breaking my question into pieces and identifying keywords. Delving deeper into the analysis, I recognized that breaking down my research question into the PICO components not only clarified my focus but also highlighted the relationship between the different aspects of my question. In conclusion, the process of refining my search results, editing my questions, and applying the PICO format significantly enhanced my search results, efficiency, and effectiveness. It provided a clear roadmap for gathering relevant evidence, which ultimately led to a more focused and informed analysis of my topic. Moving forward, I plan to continue breaking down the PICO framework within my questions as it is a fundamental tool. Additionally, I will seek out resources and strategies to improve my skills in finding comparative studies, such as exploring different databases I haven't tried before.